Boomer Sooner.
Upended balls loose, lay it around, picked up on the run. Cannon, he's to the 10, he's to the 5, touchdown!
Live at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Welcome to the OU Huddle on the Sooner Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. Also brought to you by Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Now, here's the voice of the Sooners, Toby Rowland.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue on a Monday night. It is a lively crowd again tonight. We got 2 hours of Sooner football talk in front of us tonight. Coming up in the next hour, we'll be joined by OU head coach Brent Venables and Butkus Award winner Teddy Lehman. But this is the BV pregame show. We call it the Huddle. Please help me welcome my co-host tonight. On the end, one of the all-time greats, Josh Norman, is here tonight.
Glad to be here. Beautiful crowd, beautiful people.
Soul Mission, baby. And this guy, another of the all-time Sooner greats, the great Gabe Eichert, with us again here tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
What's up, my man?
2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
2-0.
Why do you say it like that? What's wrong?
We're going to talk about what's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
2-0
is 2-0.
We got
But
60
okay,
minutes to talk about.
I realize not all 2-0s are created equal.
That's right, yeah. 16-12. A scoreagami, that's a score that's never happened in OU football history, took place on Saturday night. In fact, we got back-to-back scoreagamis to start the year. 51-3 had never happened either. OU beats Houston. It weren't pretty, but they got the job done. Josh, what do you think?
I think that out of 132 Division I schools, there are only 55 teams that are 2-0.
Okay.
And so we got it done. We're 2-0. Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but a win is a win, and I guarantee you, had we lost that game, it would feel significantly worse.
That's true. That's true. Gabe?
I think that's a great point. But I think you look at this football team right now, and you feel a certain way about one side of the football,
yeah,
and then you feel a very different way about the other side of the football. And the goal is for the entire football team to be playing at a high level. And I am still extremely hopeful that Oklahoma's offense can get the run game going, that Jackson Arnold can find his rhythm at the quarterback position for the Sooners. But the offense did not look particularly good against Houston. We all watched the game. They got the win, but it's clear the offense has to improve for this football team to have the type of season it wants to have.
Opening segment brought to you by Community Coffee, family-owned Community Coffee, the official brewed coffee of OU Athletics. Taste the difference family makes. I'd be curious, you guys have played a lot of football, you've been in a lot of locker rooms. We saw it the other way around here for a long time where the offense would score 50 points and win 50-49. When one half of the team is playing great and the other half of the team is struggling, is it awkward in the locker room at all, or what's that dynamic like, Josh?
No, I don't think that's the case in this locker room. Yeah. I think it just depends on the team. But fortunately, we have great leadership in Coach Venables. We talk a lot about complementary football. All of the great teams complement one another. And I know you say half of the team,
yeah,
but it's really a third because our special teams are playing really well. And so, our offense.
I would back off really on that. We had some struggles the other night.
That was crazy. That was crazy. Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. So we're playing
was
well.
Was it the lights? What was going on?
I don't know
what was going on there.
I have no clue, but I think we were all just as dumbfounded as anyone else trying to figure out what was going on. But my point is that our special teams are playing really well. Our defense is playing extremely well. And our offense will come along. To me, it's a good thing that we're having this adversity because we're a young team. Okay, and so it's hard to get young guys to come along sometimes without that. If they're just, playing well and just things are going smooth, then they get into a tight game and they don't know what to do. And so us having adversity right now where we're still winning ball games is a good thing.
They're listening up in film room. Nobody's sloughing it off, saying, I don't need to pay attention.
No question.
Right now, have you been in a situation similar to this where a third of the team is playing great and a third of the team is struggling?
No. During my time, it was, you take turns typically when you're a balanced football team. Sometimes the defense has a great day. Sometimes the offense has a great day. And that's what being a team is all about is, hey, when the other side of the ball or the other two-thirds aren't at their best, you pick up the slack and you go win the football game. And right now, the defense they're the strength of the football team. And it's interesting because there's no doubt in my mind that creates an even greater sense of urgency in the defensive room. Now, some people may think it's the offense going, hey, we got to pick it up. And, of course, those conversations are happening. But if you're on that defense, there were high expectations coming into the year, and now you feel like, hey, we have to get to an elite level. We got to win games with defense until the offense finds its rhythm and figures some things out.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, I think it even puts, I don't want to call it pressure, but I think the defense feels that right now. And luckily, there's a lot of talented guys in that room. There's some great leadership in that room, and I think they embrace it, Josh.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that. They have embraced it. They see the same thing everybody else sees, that our offense is struggling. But dadgum, man, we're a team. That's preached all the time. We win as a team, we lose as a team. And so regardless if the offense is getting it done or not, the defense is taking it on their shoulders. Like, hey, we're gonna do our part, and we're gonna do whatever we need to do to help this football team win.
Let's talk about the quarterback, Jackson Arnold. Couple of touchdowns, one interception on Saturday, his first of the year. 170 or so yards passing. Struggling a bit right now, maybe to hit some open guys. Timing seems a little off right now. What's your assessment of Jackson? What are you seeing there?
Just seems a little hesitant. Maybe a little too cautious. I know that, he had the experience in the bowl game, didn't like how much he turned the ball over, but the thing that I love about Jackson Arnold is he is not afraid to rip it. And we need to get him back to that level, back to where he's confident, he's seeing things clearly. And one thing that will help a whole lot is if they can establish a consistent run game.
Yeah.
That's a quarterback's best friend. If a defense has to commit more bodies to the box because you're running it efficiently, that makes the picture in the back end a whole lot clearer. And right now, Jackson just isn't making decisions quick enough with the football. And there's a lot of decisions on his plate with the RPO schemes, but I have full faith that his talent is exactly what this offense needs. He just needs to get a little more comfortable, and the offense as a whole, it's not just Jackson Arnold. Clearly people look at the quarterback first when you talk about the offense, but this whole group needs to play at a higher level.
No
Offensive
question.
line, quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, running back, everyone's got to start playing better.
We'll talk about them in a second. Jackson, though, what are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I agree with Gabe. It's hard, especially for a young quarterback, when you don't have an established run game. And so I think that's where we're seeing a lot of the struggles. I mean, even with them loading the box like they were doing, daring us to throw the ball, knowing that we had to run the ball, we just weren't effective at doing it, and that causes that doesn't give the quarterback a clear picture. And so he is holding on to the ball a little bit too long. But when he has time, and like Gabe said, when he rips it, it looks really good. And I think Coach Luttrell is doing some good things with the offense, getting guys the ball in certain ways. But to Gabe's point, we have other guys gotta give Jackson a better opportunity. I mean, we got to win on the outside.
Yeah.
We've got to win, in the run game, but we got to win with our tight ends in the passing game, and we had a lot of drops too.
Yeah.
You know, like when the ball does get there, we've got to make the play. And so, you know, we've got a lot that we have to get better at on offensive side. But again, this adversity is a good thing for us. Adversity and still winning is a good thing because it set us up for the future. And, and I believe we have a very bright future.
I think he's wired the right way.
Jackson?
Yeah.
Yep.
And no one is more disappointed in the way that Jackson Arnold has played in the first 2 games than Jackson Arnold, especially with how he looked in the Houston game. I mean, you got to imagine how it feels when you put the amount of time that he's putting in and you're not getting the results that you want to get. But it's all about where he goes from here. You can't do anything about the Houston game. That's gone.
Right.
It's all about what he does moving forward and how he improves and not making the same mistakes that he made against Houston, learning from being out there and getting these reps on game day. And I think he's wired the right way. I think he's going to make strides and he's going to improve. There's only, I don't want to say there's only one way to go because I suppose it could get a little worse somehow. It could start turning it over, which he has not. I mean, it could always be worse. But I think we're going to see improvement, and it starts at the quarterback position. But I'm going to continue to say it. If they can establish a more efficient run game, that will help out Jackson Arnold.
Yeah.
In this passing attack immensely.
Let's talk about that. You are the foremost O-line expert in Sooner Nation. I'm going to add, because I know you could go for the next, what do we got, 50 minutes left in the show on the O-line alone.
It's not overly complicated.
As concisely as you can. You felt like they played a little bit better this week, right? Not good enough, but better?
I think that they're just struggling to create movement with their base core inside zone concept. And I'm interested to see, now that it's been a bit of a struggle the first 2 weeks, do we see Seth Luttrell and Joe John Finley, along with Bill Bedenbaugh, who's heavily involved in planning the rushing attack, do we see them get to some more gap scheme runs? That's what I'm interested. Do we see them dial some things up, getting out to the perimeter a little more, because they just have not created a ton of movement in the interior of the offensive line. We also saw a shakeup on the offensive line. Logan Howland played a lot of snaps at left tackle. He's a young guy. That's his first true college football action.
Yeah. Tarquin moved left to right.
Tarquin's playing well.
Okay.
I think he's been our most consistent offensive lineman. I've been really impressed with his ability. It is not easy to just bounce from left tackle to right tackle. It's a very weird feeling. Yeah. And he's made it look good. He's not a mauler per se, but he's been getting the job done. I think he's been our most consistent guy.
Hey, Josh, how about Jake Roberts? Great to see him get a touchdown. Another big play there in the fourth quarter when they really needed to put a drive together. Norman North product comes home in front of his family. Pretty cool.
Yeah, man, I was so happy for him. One, Jake's just a great kid. He's a great kid. And so he's put in so much work. He's overcome injury in the spring. And so to see him back out there making plays and doing it in front of his hometown crowd, in front of his parents, I had the chance to talk to them afterwards, man. It's just fun and exciting to see him make those plays. But that's what we need more of out of him and out of Bauer Sharp. Just those guys making those plays when they have those opportunities. And, back to what Gabe was saying about the offensive line, when we don't have the continuity of an offensive line playing in certain positions and playing together, like, it's very difficult. Like, it's just, get in where you fit in right now. And so once we can get guys healthy and get guys in stable positions, we'll start seeing ourselves have a lot more success.
We don't spend a lot of time talking about the punter on this show, but Luke Elzinga deserves some flowers. I thought he was out there a whole bunch on Saturday night and consistently put Houston in
backfield position. How about that? Round of applause for Elzinga.
I think he deserved it.
Number 2 in the nation in punts inside the 20-yard line, number 2 in the nation in punts inside the 10-yard line. And so we don't want to punt as much as we have been, but the fact that he's able to give us a great field position like that and let our defense play with the field to their back is a big deal.
Houston started drives at the 12, 10, 4, 7, 5, and 13-yard lines.
Number one in the country in defensive starting position.
What do you think Houston's coaches said when Muse fielded the ball at the 2-yard line?
Let's don't do that again. That's probably what they said. Yeah.
I mean,
in a polite way, I'm sure.
That's a decision right there.
Yeah, not ideal. Take a break. We got much more ahead to break down, including the defensive side of the ball from a 16-12 win over Houston. Boy, the defense is playing well. We're at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. We'll be back.
The Huddle is brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
On the goal line, Donovan Smith takes the shotgun snap, hands to Snead, met at the goal line, dropped in the end zone. It is a safety! It's a safety! Grayson Halton! Wow!
That was big. Under 2 minutes to go, 2-point game. Houston was going to have to go a long ways to get in field goal range, but they just needed a field goal to win it at that point. Big play by Grayson Halton. Josh, he's playing well early on. In fact, SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week named today. Grayson Halton.
Man. You don't know how much joy that brings me to see him playing like that. OG, baby, is what we call him.
I understand he's an interesting guy.
Man, he's
fun-loving guy.
Fun-loving guy, good kid,
and
man.
it drives Brent Venables a little crazy sometimes.
It does.
Yeah.
But, man, like to see his growth over the last 3 years, that's the most exciting thing for me. And he is playing at a very high level. And it's just crazy because, all the work that we do with Soul Mission, we get to see these guys grow off the field, and it always translates to the field. And so, throughout the offseason, he went on some of the service trips with us and stuff. I know I'm not talking about football, but I'm just excited for the kid. You know what I'm saying? And so, to see him having the success he's having on the field is extremely, extremely fulfilling for me.
G-Baby is what his teammates call him. Yeah.
You can be as goofy as you want.
Hey,
if you produce.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
No one, if you go out there and rack up TFLs,
if you stay in
no
the
one's going to
backfield,
say a word. Be as goofy as you want. If you take care of business on the field, you can be the silliest guy in the world.
Well, he's a nice, Teddy calls him a curveball or a changeup, Gabe, on that defensive line. He plays a little different than the other tackles up there.
He's got, and I will say, Jaden Jackson's suddenness, his twitch has surprised me in these first 2 games. I really like what I've seen from 65 in the middle of the defense. But yeah, Halton, that's what he brings that some of the other interior defensive linemen don't bring. He has that suddenness. I think he's the most natural pass rusher of all the interior guys, and that's why you see him win. You see him win with quickness, and also he's willing to take some chances every once in a while, which the best defensive lineman I've ever been around had that. They just had that feel like, I can outside swim him and go make a play right here. You have this feel for it. Some guys have it and some don't.
Well, he can get away with that because of his athleticism.
Right.
Like, he's super athletic. He's probably the most athletic defensive lineman or defensive tackle that we have.
Also helps athletic. When no one touches you.
Yeah,
no question.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happened on the safety. No one touched him. It's okay.
He scared him away from him is
Absolutely.
what he did there. Danny Stutzman, big night. I mean, we expect this out of Danny now, but 15 tackles. I think he had 6 of them on the opening possession of the game.
Yeah,
and he was hitting people, Gabe, on Saturday night.
He was striking people and finishing just textbook tackles. And the thing that I love about Stutzman, what'd you say, 15?
15.
12 solo.
I was talking to him after the game.
He wasn't happy, was he?
He was kind of disappointed he only had 15.
Wow.
He basically was like, should have been 20. And I went back and watched tape, and he's right. There were some plays that he could have made. But the thing about Stutzman is he just plays with such confidence, and he kind of plays with this calmness while the play is going on. And it's clear to me he's kind of seeing everything.
Yep.
He's extremely comfortable what he's doing, what the defense is doing, where he fits into the defense, what the entire picture of the defense is supposed to look like. He just seems like he's in the right spot every time, Josh. And when the ball comes his way, he is arriving with quite a bit of violence.
No
and I'm a
question.
fan of that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And what's scary about this is that he's yet to play his best game. He is yet to play his best game. There's, like he said, it should have been 20, and there were, that was an amazing play.
He was off the field for a couple series.
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't
I
play
don't
the
know
whole
about
game.
those dance moves. We could work on that probably, but
Yeah, he got to work on his TikTok dances.
You think the ref was going, what do you call that? He wasn't saying stop dancing, stop dancing.
No, he was telling him stop dancing.
Let him have some fun, ref.
It's great to have a leader like that right in the middle.
He's everything.
But yeah, I mean, he's yet to have his best game, and so like when he really, really, really gets it figured out, because he's taken another step in just how he sees the game. Like you said, you can see him playing with a lot more patience. He's not taking bad steps. He's not taking false steps. And so when he really, really, really gets it figured out, and he plays his best game, it's going to be really, really exciting to watch.
And he's not playing the same position every drive. He's hopping back and forth between Mike and Will.
I don't think many people realize how impressive that is. It's similar to what I was saying about Michael Tarquin going right tackle, left tackle, except for it's even more complicated because you're not doing the same stuff in this defense at the Mike backer spot and the Will backer spot. It's two completely different positions. They're both inside backer, but you have completely different responsibilities.
Fits, all of that
He
changes.
makes it look so easy. He's an excellent football player.
Robert Spears Jennings came up with an interception, RSJ, on Saturday night. It was a nice redemption moment for him. He had a blown coverage that led to the only touchdown of the game for Houston, and then came back and made up for it with a really nice early fourth quarter pick. That's another guy that'll hit you, Gabe.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh, and that's what. Not to say that Billy's not violent, because he is, and I think he's really improved that portion of his game, but RSJ, he got some stuff to him when he arrives to
Absolutely.
the football.
And he's one of the guys not a lot of people are talking about. But yeah, like when he shows up to the party, he brings a little bit more to the party than Billy does. But I mean, he is playing high level football right now. He's being in the right places. He's striking when he gets there. He's making plays in the pass game. He had the one mistake, got bad communication on the back end, had a busted coverage. But, man, he is playing a high level of football right now, probably as good as anybody in the secondary right now.
All right. We agree the defense is off to a really good start to the season. Let's be a little picky here. Where can they be better, Josh? Where do they need to be better defensively?
Yeah, I think from this last week against Houston, just getting them off the field. Like that opening drive where they were, what was it, 12 plays and took 8 minutes off the clock or something like that. Like we can't start games like that. So starting the game at a high level and then just not giving up the big plays. That's the biggest deal, man. If we can eliminate explosive plays, I'm not sure how many we had this week, but if we can eliminate explosive plays, we're going to be really, even better. We're already super good, but eliminating starting off well and eliminating the big plays.
Do you just want me to plagiarize everything Ted said on our podcast?
Yeah, that's fine. We don't care.
He said underneath zone coverage, he thinks that can still get better. Yeah. And that was kind of
boots.
That was something that showed up in the Houston game. I mean, how many just intermediate passes did
That's
Donovan
my favorite
Smith.
Danny Stutzman play of the night, the catch and release that he just gave the tackle to Omosiga.
Just showed him mercy.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. Take the tackle, Sammy.
Teddy also said just overall speed to the football.
Okay.
Guys, not relaxing, saying, hey, that guy's going to make the tackle. I don't need to sprint to the football like the world depends on it. Ted wants to see that. And then the third thing, and this is the one that I agree with and it stood out to me the most, is the violence at the line of scrimmage has been good.
Yep.
It can be better, and it needs to be lower. Dominic Williams, especially, he is starting, and it's because he can get away with it against the offensive linemen that we've played so far. He's starting to play a little high and peak and find the football. And when you play quality offensive linemen, the second that you peak is the second that you lose that battle. So Jaden Jackson, Dominic Williams, Grayson Halton just a little lower and just continue to crank the violence up at the point of attack.
Good football team coming to town this Saturday. The Tulane Green Wave will preview the opponent in Week 3 next here on The Huddle. Stay with us.
Log on to Soonersports.com/kids for information about joining the Sooner Junior Kids Club presented by OG&E and brought to you in part by Orthodontics exclusively, Mathis Home, and Devon Energy. OU's 2024 football games are available on Exitos 96.5 FM in Oklahoma City and 101.5 FM El Patron in Tulsa, as well as on those stations' websites. Each OU Spanish broadcast will feature a 30-minute pregame show and a 15-minute postgame show. The best place to gear up for game day is shop.soonersports.com.
We are striping the stadium Saturday afternoon. Make sure you know what section you're sitting in and whether you should wear crimson or white. That's this Saturday against Tulane. Even-numbered sections wear white. Odd-numbered sections and odd people, Gabe, like you, wear crimson. The OU student section also wears crimson.
Do Plank and I have to wear opposite colors?
I would appreciate it if you and Plank also striped our sideline reporters. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can do that.
That would be
I'll
fantastic.
coordinate with my man, Chris.
Let's go behind enemy lines now, brought to you by the Riverwood Casino. Good times, great rewards. By the way, happy birthday, Marilyn. Happy 45th birthday to Marilyn.
Happy birthday.
Here you go. Tulane coming up, 1-1. Tough loss to Kansas State on Saturday.
That's one way to put it.
They were ahead all day. Gave up the lead.
What'd you
had a
think
chance
of it?
in the end zone.
No, what'd you think of the offensive pass interference to wipe the tying touchdown off?
Questionable at best.
I thought it was a terrible call.
Okay, that's another way to say it.
That game, they deserved to go to overtime. That's how I feel about it.
Can we put the graphic back up? Is that possible? I'm the control room. Is it possible to put the graphic back up real fast? Okay. I think they might have the best logo in college football. It's next to OU. The little fighting green wave dude is awesome.
Did you see their jerseys
Really?
they wore in their opener?
Yeah.
That's atrocious.
You don't like the little fighting green wave guy?
No.
He's adorable.
There's nothing
and
about
mean.
that says I'm like go fight win.
You know
It's
what?
just-
He's got a
That's a
megaphone in his
mean
hand.
green wave, dude. Are you sure?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. You liked their uniforms?
My hope, and I don't know if it's against the rules or not, I want us to be in our traditional home crimsons, and I want them to show up in that baby blue.
The baby blue with the green.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a good look, I think.
I don't
In fact,
think they
Good
could do
look.
that.
It is. That would
They'll
be.
have to be in
I
white,
have
right?
to petition for something like that because, USC and UCLA play.
Yeah,
Oh,
it'd
good
be
point.
exactly
Yeah.
like that. This is the petition. You write, why do you want to do this? It's aesthetically
It looks
pleasing.
cool.
It's awesome.
It looks good. That's
very
why. Next question.
It's time for the Scoop now, brought to you by Brahms Ice Cream and Dairy Stores, farm fresh for over 50 years. Gabe, we'll start with you. What do we know about Tulane?
Interesting football team. I am a big fan of Coach Summerall. I think that he is going to climb the ladder in the profession pretty quickly.
Young,
hungry, did a great job at Troy, brought a lot of that staff, maybe the entire staff, with him to Tulane. And Willie Fritz did not leave the cover bare for him. Now, they got some transfers in, just like when any program when you get a new head coach. But the best thing I can say about this football team is when I turn on the tape, they fly around, and they will hit you. Both sides of the football. Very physical at the point of attack on offense, very physical in the box on defense. I am impressed. They should have beat Kansas State. They controlled the football game. Unfortunately, weren't able to finish the job. But I think Mensah, their quarterback, his mobility, his ability to extend plays, he's like all other mobile quarterbacks. It's just a nightmare to play a guy that can move around and extend plays the way that he does. And he's shown an ability to be a playmaker.
Yeah, so they're going to be well coached. They do a great job of putting those guys in position. But I think they're still trying to figure out who they are. Like most schools who start off with a new coach, you're just trying to figure out who you are. They're trying to figure out their team. They're trying to figure out where to place guys, how to put guys in the best position according to their talent and what they're best at. And so this should be a game, like it's going to be more challenging than the last two games that we've had, but it should be a game that we should be able to control and dominate in a lot of different ways. Like I said, I think they're still trying to figure themselves out, and they'll be able to make some plays, but we should be able to make more.
It's the best offense Oklahoma's played
Correct.
so far. Agree?
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, Mintz is a good player. 70% completions. You see his numbers right there. And Mario Williams is his favorite target.
Yep.
If you remember that name, he used to play at OU.
Former Sooner.
Went with Lincoln Riley out to USC. Now he's transferred to Tulane. He's averaging about 25 yards a catch.
He's still fast.
Yeah.
They got a couple guys at wide receiver that can absolutely go. So the key for Oklahoma's defense, clearly, that's going to stop. It's going to start with stopping the run. Yep. And that this defense has been very, very good at that in the first two games. And then I do think they can win some battles at the line of scrimmage. Their offensive line, it's solid, but I think we've got a big advantage there if we can get them in predictable passing situations, Josh.
Yeah, for me, I think it's going to come down to eye discipline. They're going to do a lot of motions. They're going to do a lot of things to try and confuse us on the back end.
I'm telling
yeah,
you,
he's a good player.
It's a good last name, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, as long as we have good eye discipline, man, we should be able to make some plays.
Take a look at what Tulane does on the ground, too. And while we do that, let's take a look at Taco Mayo's What's on the Menu. Big appetite, bigger savings. Download and save today. So the question is here, what do you want to see from the Sooners on Saturday night? What's important for OU as they line up against the talent of the Green Wave, Gabe?
I really think it's just about winning the battle at the line of scrimmage. Yeah. If you're able to – and this, you got to remember, Mensa's young. His head may be spinning a little bit if you get him in some second and long, third and long situations. I can only imagine what Zach Alley and Brent Venables are coming up with for a young quarterback who's going to be starting on the road here in Norman. But make them one-dimensional. Shut down the run. Mintz is not a guy that's going to throw for 500 yards on you and throw it 50 times. That's not what they want to do. If you make them one-dimensional, you're going to put yourself in a really, really good position as a defense.
Yeah, no question. I think the key is just going to be for us on the offensive side, controlling the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Being able to get our run game going. We're just not going to be able to play good offense if we're only rushing for 78 yards a game.
Good point.
So we've got to get our run game going. Again, like we mentioned earlier, that's just going to help Jackson see things clearer, be able to deliver the ball better, be able to be more confident, be more comfortable in the pocket. So we have to be able to dominate the line of scrimmage on the offensive side.
All focus on this game, don't get me wrong, but preparing for and playing against Mensa, not a bad tune-up for Nico next week as far as stylistically what he's bringing.
We're not going to do that, Toby. We're going to stay right here.
One game at a time. I got
you can do that. I want to talk about Nico.
I'm just saying it's good preparation.
No, I agree. I think Nico is a little more athletic than Mensa, but I think that's
young too, though.
I think that's a tremendous point.
We'll take a break. Tulane, by the way, a program that's, they've had some success in recent years. Almost beat OU here in 2021. Beat USC in the Cotton Bowl in 2023. They've won some big games in recent years. There you see it there. 2:30 on ESPN on Saturday afternoon. It'll be OU and Tulane. Of course, we'll have it for you on the Sooner Radio Network as well. We'll be back right after this.
We want to thank all of our Sooner Radio Network affiliates across the state and region. Fans can check out Soonersports.com for an affiliate in your area. And if you're traveling outside the state of Oklahoma, you can listen to all the action on either SiriusXM Radio or download the Varsity Network app and listen free. Taco Mayo. Big appetite, bigger savings. Download and save today. Air Comfort Solutions. Your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical.
Make the winning call today.
Welcome back, everybody. Don't forget Brent Venables and Teddy Lehman coming up at the top of the hour. It's time now for What's Your Beef, brought to you by Didier Ranch's premium ranched-raised beef. Can be shipped anywhere in the continental U.S. Visit DidierRanch.com. That's DidierRanch.com to order Didier Ranch. Tradition tastes better. Yes, sir?
A little birdie told me promo code Oklahoma15 gets you 15% off.
Wow.
On
Little birdie told you that.
Yeah,
Wow, yeah.
little birdie.
That's fantastic.
The birdie is the guy that owns the ranch.
What's your beef? The idea is here, we got something to gripe about, and that's perfect for you. So what's your beef this week?
Did you see what Shedeur Sanders said after that game?
I didn't see what he said. I saw him leave the field before the end of the game, though.
Yeah, that was odd. That was odd.
Yeah.
And listen, Colorado is great for college football. I love all of the attention, all the drama that comes with Deion Sanders.
We need a villain.
It's great.
Uh-huh.
I think it has. I think it's brought more people into the fold of college football. But don't throw your O-line under the bus, man.
Oh,
don't do it.
The cardinal sin for Dave
Don't do
Eichert.
it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. And what he said was true. Dylan Raiola did have a lot more time in the pocket. He didn't get touched. Nebraska was able to run the ball. But part of being the quarterback, especially one that gets as much attention as Shedeur Sanders gets, is you just eat it after the losses.
Yeah.
We got to play better. I got to be better. We weren't good enough. You go with all that. You go with all of that. You don't go with, well, how many times did Raiola get touched? You do not go with that.
But is that a surprise to you, though?
Not a surprise, no.
Yeah, that's
it is a surprise to me.
It's still a beef.
It's not me.
Because
it's expected.
I think that young man, I think he wants to be an NFL quarterback. And everything you say and everything you do, nothing matters more than the tape. Nothing matters more than the tape. But at the quarterback position especially, if you want to go 1-1, if you want to be a top 5 guy.
Which I think he has the ability to do. But when you're in an environment that fosters that type of behavior,
yeah,
that's what you're going to get.
I just think that I don't want him to hurt his draft status saying stuff like that. And I know he's frustrated. I get it. I totally understand it. But
yeah,
if you're the quarterback.
I agree with both of you. He shouldn't do it, and I'm not surprised.
Exactly.
Don't throw the O-line under the bus, man.
Scores this week. How about Northern Illinois knocking off Notre Dame?
Oh, my gosh.
What a stunner. 1 week after Notre Dame beats the Aggies. Everybody likes to see Notre Dame get beat. So Northern Illinois beats the Irish. How about that?
There was nothing fluky about it.
Nope. Texas whoops up on Michigan. Tennessee smokes NC State. And OSU comes from behind to beat Arkansas.
Listen.
In overtime.
I hate the University of Texas football team with every fiber of my being.
Hate them.
Hate them.
But
no.
That's a good football team.
They look
man.
pretty good, didn't they?
They look great. Let's just call it how we see it. You can say Michigan. You can say Michigan's
You've
not any
offended
good.
Josh again this segment.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's think about it. Let's
explain.
think about it. Michigan is a completely different team than they were in January.
True.
They 18 starters gone, 40-something new guys on the team.
New head coach. Completely different team. They ain't got they're not the same team. Does Texas look good? Yes. Do they look? And if you watch the game, it wasn't like they just ran away with the game the entire time. It was only 31 points.
Yeah.
And they scored the last bit.
Dude,
at the
that
end of
game
the
was over in the first quarter. What are you talking about?
It was over what happened was when they had the turnover at the end of the half, that's what sealed the deal.
They went up 14-0, and that game was over.
Yeah,
they look good.
They do look good, but I'm not going to crown them king yet.
No. I think Georgia is still.
They look good when they went into Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama last year, and OU still beat them in the Cotton
They didn't
Bowl,
win like that though.
It was still Alabama.
But Michigan's offense
Impressive.
has.
Trivia
People
question.
think our offense has issues. Look at
Exactly.
Trivia question for
That's
you.
another thing. Like Michigan they're just not the
I'm
same.
not going to get this in. Trivia question for you. Now that Michigan lost, who has the longest winning streak in America? Anybody?
I know this.
It's Arizona. Arizona's
Yes.
won
Oh, man.
9 in a row.
We're part of that.
Wow.
That's the longest winning streak in America. Now they go to
That's fascinating.
K-State.
How about
They go
that?
to K-State this week, so that's probably about to end. Second longest winning streak in America is Army at 6. That's where we are in parity in college football right now.
God bless the troops. Way to go, Army.
Not a great,
yeah.
not a great slate. It's like the what was it, Mr. Inside, Mr. Outside back in the day. LSU's at South Carolina. That's where game day is going to be this week. Shane Beamer, by the way, his team impressive this past week.
They put a whooping.
Oregon State this week as well. Not a great slate across college football altogether. We'll take a break. We've got this week's bold predictions for you when we come back.
Thank you to our cornerstone television partners, OU Health, OG&E, Fowler Auto Group, and Coca-Cola.
All right, we wrap up the show with our Air Comfort Solutions hot take. Air Comfort Solutions, your total home solution for plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and electrical. Make the winning call today. I called them today. Air conditioner went out. They were out like that.
Oh, gosh.
Fixed it. Yeah. All right, hot take. You're the only person that's got a correct one so far this season.
Yep.
So Team
I
Josh,
actually
Caleb.
had 2 correct ones.
Well,
here
you
we go.
bunched them together.
I
You're
did.
right. So you get to lead us off. What's your hot take for OU Tulane?
Yeah, I think we're going to continue the trend on defense of leading the nation in turnovers. And I think we have 3 turnovers this week.
Ooh.
3 takeaways
3
for the OU
takeaways. Yes,
defense.
sir.
That feels pretty bold.
I like it. Yeah? Okay, Gabe.
I'm
hot
going
take.
very bold, especially with the way that our fan base has been talking the last couple days. Give me Javonte Barnes over 100 yards rushing.
Oh, that would be delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
I
They-
actually agree with that, yeah.
they felt that one was real
I agree
bold.
with
You
that.
just watch. It's coming. That's
Now,
why.
if it's true, you don't also get credit for it.
I
just
was actually
because you
going to
agree
say
with it.
150 yards of rushing
Right.
total for the team.
That's not bold enough. No, I like your first bold. 3 takeaways. Stick with that.
Considering what – okay, yeah.
Considering what we've done so far, you're right. That's true. I'm going to go that we scored defensive touchdown. So I'm jumping on the
Ooh, all right.
defensive
I
train
like
with
it.
you. As good as the defense has played.
All at you two just riding the strength of the defense. Look at you, so bold.
Three turnovers is hard to come by.
Oh, I'm going to
3
pick something.
turnovers is hard to
One
come
of the
by.
best
Britt
defenses in
Venables
America.
and Teddy Lehman coming up next here at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Boomer Sooner.
The OU Huddle has been brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. And by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Sooner Sports Network.